I feel like for this video series, I should make all the thumbnails just me doing the Will Smith thing. Look at them! Look at them! So I was kind of inspired by Gemma Donnell, aka A Million Mad Musings on YouTube, to do a series where I talk about things that I ship a whole lot. Her series is called Tipsy OTPs. I'll link it in the description. It's very good. Now, I am 19 in the United States, therefore I am not of drinking age, and I cannot drink while doing these. So instead, I will have ice cream. I actually just got my wisdom teeth out yesterday, and I'm doing surprisingly well. You can never turn down ice cream. On Sunday, I saw the movie A Wrinkle in Time. The reviews are not good, but the reviews are liars and wrong and fake. This movie is incredible. A Wrinkle in Time was one of my favorite books growing up, and I especially just love the character of Meg and how amazing she is as a female character. And I also really love the character Calvin and how cool he is as like a sort of subversion of the male lead character in sci-fi and fantasy. And I also really love them as a ship, Meg and Calvin. And boy, oh boy, did this movie deliver with the Meg and Calvin shipping. My God. So in the book, the romance between Meg and Calvin is not as central as it is in the movie. But the thing is, the book, A Wrinkle in Time, has a sequel called The Swiftly Tilting Planet, which I do not think that they will be able to make into a movie just because I think that book is, like, impossible to make into a movie. In A Swiftly Tilting Planet, it is, like, 10 or 15 years in the future, and Meg and Calvin are married and expecting their first child. And I think because the movie won't have a sequel and won't jump ahead to when it is proven that Meg and Calvin are in love and the best couple ever, they tried to play up the romance a bit more in A Wrinkle in Time itself, which I fully approve of. Meg starts out the story, and she's this really grumpy, sad young lady who her father has gone missing, went missing 4 years earlier, and she's kind of shut out everyone in her life except for her family. She's not doing well in school, even though she's really smart. She has no friends at school, basically. And meanwhile, we have Calvin, who is very popular at school, does well, but his home life, his family life is really not great at all. It's very terrible. His parents are abusive to him and his siblings. So in the movie, I'm going to talk mostly about the movie here, just because the movie is the thing that's most fresh in my mind. In the movie, he ends up going to hang out with Meg because he has a feeling, which is something lifted straight from the book. He has like a feeling that he needs to be at this place and be with Meg and Charles Wallace, Meg's little brother, at the specific moment in time, which is like a whole universe cosmic thing that sets up him going on the adventure with them. And in the movie, Calvin ends up having dinner with Meg and Charles Wallace's family, their mother. They cut out Meg's other brothers in the movie, which was interesting. I guess they did it to emphasize her loneliness, but I don't know. I like Sandy and Dennis. I think they should have been in it. Oh well. Calvin goes to eat dinner with Meg and Charles Wallace and their mother, and afterwards when they leave, Calvin's talking about how their house is so full of love, and it just made me so sad for him. And then Meg and Calvin have like this moment where the mean girl in Meg's class is like their neighbor, and she's looking out the window, and Meg is like, "Come on, Calvin, hide." And Calvin's like, why do I need to hide? Are you embarrassed of me? And Meg's like, "No, I'm protecting your reputation. You don't want to be seen with me." And it's like, Meg, you sweetheart. You're the sweetest. Oh, you think you're so grumpy, but you're the sweetest, and I love you. Meg, Calvin, and Charles Wallace get swept on this, like, across the universe adventure where they're trying to save Meg's father. And throughout the whole... It's interesting, because in the book, Calvin does a lot more. In the book and in the movie, it is clarified towards the beginning that Calvin is chosen for this mission because of his diplomatic skills, because he's able to talk to people better than Charles Wallace, who's very young, and Meg, who's very closed off. But his diplomatic skills in the movie aren't used a whole ton. In the book, I'm thinking of a scene specifically towards the end where he has this whole conversation with the It, which I think I remember being really freaked out by that scene in the book. In the movie, it's completely cut. In the movie, Calvin's role is basically just to swoon over how great Meg is, and I was surprisingly okay with that. It's so good. It's such a good subversion of how male and female characters are usually treated in sci-fi. Meg is the one who gets to be all grumpy and closed off, and Calvin's kind of her manic pixie dream girl, which is amazing. And oh my god, there's a scene right after, I'm gonna spoil the movie, I don't care. There's a scene right after they're like attacked on Camazotz by like the whole environment, all of nature just like comes after them, and they manage to escape and get over the wall. And they're like washing themselves off, and like Calvin is just talking about, you saved us, you're so smart, you're amazing. He's just like complimenting Meg over and over and over again, and she's just like uncomfortable with it. She doesn't think that she's a very good person. Well, okay, there's a scene earlier right after he leaves, right after Meg and Calvin leave after having dinner with Meg's mom, and he's like, I like your hair, and Meg's like, please don't flirt with me. It's amazing. But then in this scene, he's talking about how amazing Meg is and how smart and how brave she is. And Meg's just like, stop it. And then he like gets up closer to her. He like walks over to her and is like, and I like your hair too. And she's just like, oh my god, it's so good. Because it's amazing that I saw a tweet about this. I don't remember who tweeted it. I'm sorry. But someone was basically saying how there's that scene where Calvin is complimenting her everything else but her appearance throughout the entire scene. And then at the end, he does get to have one thing where he's like, I like your hair. I think you're pretty. But it's really cool how the major compliments that he gives her have nothing to do with her appearance at all, and that the last compliment about her hair is kind of a joke. Also, it's just great to see a young mixed race girl with this guy who thinks that her hair is pretty. That's rad. That's really great. I'm almost out of ice cream. Does that mean that I should end this? I think that Meg and Calvin are supposed to be like, I think they're like 14 in the Wrinkle in Time, and then in A Swiftly Tilting Planet they're like 25, 26. So there's a whole period of time in between those two books that to just fill in with your brain the romance between them. And those like 10 years are just like, I want to know what happens between them. Because in Wrinkle in Time, the movie, they don't kiss, which I think is good. There's like a lot of romantic tension between them, but they do not kiss, which I think is a very good choice. But there is definitely the implication that Calvin likes Meg and Meg likes Calvin, and that they're probably going to kiss and date at some point in the future. And I don't know, is there fan fiction about this? Because I just really want to know what happens between Meg and Calvin, where they get from the point at the end of A Wrinkle in Time to the point at the beginning of A Swiftly Tilting Planet, where they completely fall in love and they get married. It was just so nice to see one of my childhood OTPs, one of my childhood ships, to be respected and portrayed so well on screen. It didn't feel like they did it in injustice. And I love that all in all, it's Meg's story, and Calvin is her love interest. Anyways, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say about them. I just love them so much. A Wrinkle in Time was so good, guys. It was amazing. I loved it so much. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.